still alive. Hey guys, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another live stream. Um, this live stream is special. It's the second live stream that I do in the form of a podcast. And this evening I have one of my good friends, Wolf. Wolf, say hi to everybody, man.
Hello, hello. How's
I'm
everyone doing?
I'm pretty excited, dude. So like I told you before we got started, I I want to start off with a few quick fire questions, and then we're just gonna wing it from there. Does that sound
All
good?
right, man. Yeah, that's good.
All right,
Hit me up.
we're just gonna dive right into this. Okay, quick fire questions. Question one: Magic Arena or Legends of Runeterra?
Magic Arena.
Oh snap! And then if you want to elaborate too, you can. If not, I'll just go straight to the next question.
Magic Arena because like Legend of Terror just came out and there's
Hmm.
not much to it right now. So I prefer playing Magic Arena over Legend of Terror right now.
Okay, cool, man. Um, Question two: If you could legally change your name to Wolf, would you do it?
No, I would actually change my surname, like my last name to Wolf, but in Turkish. That's what I would actually would do.
Really? What is it in Turkish?
Kurt.
Kurt?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool, man. Let me know if you do that. Next question: Why a wolf? I know I asked you this before, but I want to get your
Why
take on it.
Wolf?
So, yeah.
Well, first off, when I first made the name like Wolfbane, that's like my game name.
Hmm.
And I was like 13, 14 years old, and I just never changed it because I couldn't bother to think of another name. And the reason why I chose Wolf was like, and if possible, I wish to own a pet wolf, but like that's not legal in America.
Hmm. I mean, if Mike Tyson can own a tiger or a lion, maybe they can make an exception for you one day.
Yeah, maybe from like really popular and famous.
That's what you got to work on, man. Your main goal is to get popular and famous so you can own a wolf. That'd be so cool, man. Like, can you imagine? Okay, would it be indoor or outdoor? Would you just let it like walk around the house? How would you take care of it
No,
if it had
I'll keep
like
it up. I'll keep it outdoor.
outdoor?
Yeah,
If you ever do that, can you please let me know so so I can see it up close and personal?
sure,
Like,
man, no problem. I make sure that he won't bite.
yeah, you got to train it. I don't want to die like
Yeah.
the first contact with a wolf. Cool, man.
Well,
Oh, go
the way
ahead.
it works with like wild animals and stuff, you gotta get them when they're a baby, so then you can actually train them early.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how like Mike Tyson can get a tiger, and because he got it
Mm.
when it was young, and then train it up later on when he grew older.
That's cool, man. Ready for the next question?
Sure.
Thailand or Turkey?
Ooh, that's a pretty hard question. I
Thanks.
would lean more towards Turkey because
Mm.
I was born there, and when I'm in Turkey, I felt the most comfortable. I felt like this was my home place.
Oh wow.
But I wouldn't like say like that's too much of a difference. Like I
Mm-hmm.
think Thailand is also pretty like I'm comfortable there and I like living there as well. So it's
Mm.
not just Turkey is like a little bit higher than Thailand. I'll put it that way.
When was the last time you visited both countries?
Last time I visited both countries. Last time I
Yeah.
visited Turkey was 3 years ago, and I stayed
Mm.
there for a year.
Oh
And the last
wow.
time I visited Thailand was about 5 or 6 years ago. I don't remember exactly.
That's
And I
cool,
stayed
man.
there for like a month or two.
I'm really interested. Like, how would you compare, like the different cultures, the people? I know both the foods are probably tasting awesome, but like, how's the culture? Like, is it like, do you have to adjust, or do they have a lot of similarities between the two cultures?
The cultures they are pretty different. Thailand definitely is more warm and friendly, while
Mm-hmm.
Turkey is like if I'm a foreigner, let's say, if I'm
Mm-hmm.
before going to Turkish people will not like foreigners as much as compared to Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
Thailand, they're happy with foreigners. They like seeing foreigners there. In Turkey, they're like a little more cold.
Hmm.
As a lot of people would say when they go to Turkey, they meet some aggressive people, because Turkey is more aggressive and they come from, you know, the Ottoman Empire, so they're like very proud, you know.
Um, hang on one second. Hey, Digimon Hero 2, welcome to the stream. I appreciate you stopping by. So I thought Turkish people were hospitable. Like,
No, they are there, but I'm comparing it to Thailand, you know.
oh, I see. So they're just more warmer, more friendly in
Yes, if we
Thailand.
compare it to like Thailand and Turkey,
Hmm.
Thailand is a lot warmer and more friendly than Turkey.
Nice, dude. That's very interesting. You'll have to tell me more about that some other time. Next question. Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Who is your
I'm ready,
idol?
man. My idol.
Mm-hmm.
My idol is Elon Musk,
Wrong
and
answer. I'm just kidding.
oh yeah, no, it's Mr. E, man. My bad.
No, I was gonna say it's Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. After
Oh,
Prophet
if you're going that way, okay. Yes,
after Prophet Muhammad. So
right,
it's
right.
Elon Musk.
Yes,
That's cool, man.
it'll be
Mhm.
Elon Musk. Yeah, the
And
reason why I see him as my idol because he like doesn't care when it, and he's very creative. He
mhm.
doesn't care about what other people think, and he does what he thinks is the right thing to do. He literally like sold flamethrowers on in his store, which is something very bold and brave, you know.
That's awesome, man. We might circle back to Elon Musk because off stream or before we started, we brought up the topic of AI. So let's put a pin there, and then we'll probably circle back and talk about him
Yeah.
some more.
Okay.
Um, hang on, I gotta get a sip of water. I got thirsty all of a sudden.
No problem, man.
Next question: Warrior or Mage class?
Hmm. I am more of a mage class type of person.
Mm-hmm.
Warriors are fun because you get to like rush in and be fast about it. But I see myself more as a tactical person, like
Mm-hmm.
a strategy type of person. So mage class would most likely be the right choice.
Nice. I'm more of a warrior. You know me, run and gun.
Yeah,
Nice.
hence why I suck at Valorant because I got none of the skills required for it.
Dude, oh man, you were so good at that game. Hey, T Desk, welcome, man. Welcome to the stream. We're doing
Hey
a
man, I
live.
can make calls. That's
Oh,
about it.
you're good at strategizing, man. You're like a shot caller.
Yeah, yeah.
We gotta play some Valorant, man. That was an awesome game. Next question. What is the first game you ever played, or that you remember playing?
The first video game that I ever played
Yeah.
that I could remember. Um, does like it being on the internet matters? Because when I was younger, I used to play other internet games.
Oh no, it doesn't matter.
Okay,
Whatever you want, whatever game that you can think of.
okay. So when I was younger, there was a there was a game on the website called y8.com, and I would go there almost every single time. And
Y8.
yeah,
Okay. Good.
and I would play. I forgot the name of it. It was a strategy based type of game where you have like a certain amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
You create like enemies. You create like soldiers and stuff like that, and you push through.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can save enough money or get enough kills, then your base upgrades. But it's not like an RTS. It's like
Mm.
2D.
I was
So
thinking RTS, like as you were describing that.
yeah, no, it's not an RTS. Like, don't get mistaken by that.
Hmm.
It's 2D, and it's like you're facing only one opponent. So I
Okay.
play that a lot.
Nice. Okay.
But if we're talking about like actual video game,
Yeah.
I played Warcraft. That was my
Ooh,
first video game that I played,
that's
and
awesome, man.
I played the Dota mod, like the first actual mobile game that started like League of Legends and Dota 2.
Wow. I don't. When did that come out? I don't even remember that.
Uh, which one? The League of Legends?
Oh no. The
Dota?
original,
Oh, it
World of Warcraft.
came out like 2008 or 9. I'm not exactly sure.
Wow, that's cool, man.
So yeah, I played like the OG Dota before I played League of Legends.
Nice. That's cool, dude. Um, let's see. Okay, this is an interesting one. You ready?
Okay,
what is a
I'm ready, man.
what is a smell you like that may be unusual to someone else?
Ooh. I was gonna say gasoline, but like that's not unusual. I don't know. I think that a lot of people would like the smell of gasoline.
Really, I don't. That's a good one.
Yeah, so then okay, then gasoline would be my
Gasoline.
answer. Yeah.
Nice. I stole that from somebody. I told him I was gonna take it from him. Shout out to another streamer. His name is Three Knock. I told him I'm gonna steal that question from. I was on their Discord and he just randomly asked that, and I'm like, wow, that's a very interesting question. Like, I don't think I would have thought about that on my own.
Yeah.
Um,
So for some weird reason, I just like the smell of gasoline,
Interesting.
even though it's like harmful for you.
Just be careful with that, buddy. You don't want to sniff that
No,
too
no, no,
much.
man. I don't do it like on an occasional basis.
Okay. Hey, Gorilla Vanilla, welcome to the stream. Um, I like that question. Next one. Oh, yeah, he said
Oh, look.
the smell of gasoline is amazing. Wow, you guys are weird. You guys, I guess it's a popular thing. Like you don't get like nauseated from. It's like I think danger. Like when I smell, yes, it's like okay, I got to be careful. Danger. Like that's the first thing I think of. That's just
Yeah,
me
no,
though.
man. I just smell. I'm like I gotta get more of it. Just like walk towards it. Just take a 6 sniff.
That's awesome, man.
No, it's a joke. I don't do that.
That's good. I'm glad you don't do that. I got last question in the quick fire. Um,
Okay, sure, no problem.
will you play Digimon Masters with me?
Since you played as much, I might probably.
Sweet. Yeah, I found out that. So I've been playing it on Steam, and
Mhm.
I found out you can also play it from their original website. It's called Game King, but I'll give you more information about that later. Very interesting. It's a like when I first saw it, I'm like, I don't know about this game. It looks kind of really cartoony, kind of childish, but there's just something about like obtaining, like hatching the Digimon and then like grinding them up, like leveling them up and grinding. It's just really fun and satisfying. I like grinding in games.
To
Um,
me, it seems like it's like Pokemon in a way, in the
mhm.
fact that you just like, and it's called JRPG, where you just like grind out your characters, and then they get stronger, and you fight other characters on like, so on and so forth.
I've never played like a Digimon or Pokemon game, so maybe that's why it's another interest. Like I find it interesting because I never played a game like that before. I guess I missed out on that when I was younger. I just really didn't
Yeah.
get into it for some reason. Um, that and that concludes the podcast. No, I'm just kidding. That just wraps up. That just wraps up the quick fire questions.
Okay.
I guess we can segue into like the type of games that I want to talk about the history of games that you've been playing. So if
Okay.
we
Sure.
start
No
off with
problem.
World of Warcraft and like where did you go from there and why? Like what drew you to those type of games? I guess.
Oh, I didn't start with World of Warcraft. I started with
Oh,
Warcraft, just regular Warcraft 3.
oh yeah, my bad. Yes.
And
Where'd you go after that?
I started playing Warcraft, but not the actual game though. I played the like mod maps basically. So I
Mm-hmm.
started playing the OG Dota, the game that started League of Legends and Dota 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then I also played another map, which is an RTS map. So
Hmm.
I played that as well, and from there I found another game that is similar to like the RTS Dota version,
Mm-hmm.
except it was like futuristic and has like tanks and all that
Hmm.
stuff, more modern type of thing. And it
That
was
sounds
called
cool.
Command and Conquer Red Alert 3.
Oh, I remember
I
Command
played
and
that.
Conquer.
Yeah, I played that a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I also found out like Age of Empires as well, and I played that. I
Oh
generally didn't
man.
play with a lot of people or online. I just played by myself and with bots because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that I could play with like online and stuff. So I just
Hmm.
stick to playing with bots and like I just played the story mode. Um, Around like a few years later, then I learned about League of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
I like this is like the most popular game ever. How can I not heard of it? I'm actually surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I played a little bit of it, and it's probably like the most fun game that I ever played.
Wow.
And I quickly like got into it. I I've been playing it still. Like it's been 5 years and I'm still playing League of Legends.
Wow. That's
So
cool,
yeah, it
man.
was really good. It because it fit in the like RTS style. Like generally when I see MOBAs, people that play MOBA, they come from an RTS because RTS was really popular back
Mm-hmm.
then.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
So it's kind of normal for RTS to move to MOBAs because MOBA is a little more fast paced and you kind of control only one character rather than like a whole army, which is relatively easier, you
Mm.
know.
Did
And
you?
I,
Oh, go ahead.
you were gonna ask something?
Oh, did you ever play StarCraft? Like StarCraft 2 was my jam. I played that.
StarCraft.
Yeah.
For some reason, I never knew about StarCraft until
Oh
like
man.
later on. Like I just learned about StarCraft like 2, 3 years ago, but
Wow.
for some reason I didn't get into it.
Mm. It's a fun game,
But
man.
it's yeah, it's
Really
probably
popular.
I played a little bit of the story, but I feel like the story wasn't too engaging. That's probably why I didn't get into it.
Mm. I
But
hear
that's
you.
just probably me. That's probably just me.
No, it's all good. The gameplay was fun. I like that. Like it's so satisfying. Just building a huge army. Like you take your time, you build all the buildings, and you upgrade them, and then you have a huge army, and just watching
Yep.
your army like demolish the other base. I don't know what it is
Yep.
about it. It's just so satisfying.
Yeah, man.
Um,
That's basically like your classic RTS.
nice, man. So you and I met while playing Warframe. When did you
Yep.
start playing that?
A good friend of mine, Dylan. I met him through playing League of Legends.
Hmm.
He recommended me playing Warframe
Mm-hmm.
at first. So I'm like, okay. When I first started playing it, I didn't like it. There was like too much stuff going on that I didn't even know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I gave it I gave it a good chance. I actually started I learned the game because like my friends like, oh, we could play together and stuff, and he plays that a lot as well. But the
Hmm.
funny thing is when I started actually getting into the game, then that's when he stopped playing.
Oh,
So
that
I just end
sucks.
up playing by myself for like a good 5, 6 hours a day, that type of thing.
Wow. That.
And then I met Emu, and that's how we met because he introduced you to you.
Mm-hmm. Um, that's cool, man. And then after Warframe and League of Legends, did you get into anything else?
I'm slowly trying to get into fighting games, but it's
Hmm.
been really rough because I don't know, it's very hard to get into fighting games.
Mm-hmm. I should
It
have
takes a
asked
lot
you.
of it takes a lot of patience, and I don't have that much patience when it comes to doing like mundane things over and over again. And
Mm.
kind of one reason why I got burned out of Warframe because I keep
Mm-hmm.
doing the same crap over and over again.
You got to learn them combos. I should have asked you Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. Would have probably been a good question.
Street
Oh
Fighter all
heck
the
yeah,
way.
all the way,
Mortal
man.
Kombat is too clunky.
Yes,
It's not a good fighting game.
I agree. Like it's cool to look at. Like the fatalities are really nice to look at. But yeah, it didn't feel as smooth as Street Fighter. Like
Yeah,
I
that's
played a lot of Super Street Fighter 2 back on the when the Super Nintendo came out. This was
oh,
in
that's cool.
'91. I think my oldest brother got it, and I was the suckiest. Of course, they would whoop my butt, man. Like my older brothers, they're better gamers than me, and yeah, it was a rough period, man. It was it was fun. But like I liked fighting games back then, but now I don't like them as much. I don't know what it is. Kind of like what you're
It's
saying.
probably because like the hard learning curve because it takes really long to learn fighting games because you got
Hmm.
to practice combos over and over again.
Hmm.
And even once you're done with combos, it's like reading people and then understanding other characters as well. Once you like master one character,
Hmm.
so yeah, it takes very long and it's requires a lot of patience to do.
Hmm. Also, for me, like as I got older, I really got more into co-op games. Like for me, that's my favorite experience. Like playing World War Z or Halo. Oh my god, Halo was so fun. Did you ever play the campaigns on Halo with
Nah, man,
friends?
I have not touched Halo ever in my
Oh,
life.
oh my gosh.
I I grew up not like playing FPS games because my parents were very against it.
Mm,
My dad this complete disliked the whole idea of guns.
mm,
So whenever I played video games, I generally played like like I said, strategy games that doesn't or like RPGs.
mm,
I didn't really touch FPS games. The time
mm,
that I touched FPS games was probably like high school. our computer lab, we installed CS 1.6 into all the computers. So then we would play at like during class time,
Mm-hmm.
like not
Nice.
class time, like after class
The
because the
teacher is
teacher would
teaching.
let us do. The
She's
teacher is cool too. He would let us play because he's also a gamer himself. He would join as well and play with us.
oh, that's cool. That must
Yeah,
have been fun.
yeah. So that was like the only time when I actually played an FPS game. I was completely garbage at it. I kept dying. No different to Valorant. So
Gorilla says, "Hey, Wolf."
hey,
I'm kind of interested. Like, I wanted to get, I wanted to get into the segment where, like, we get questions from our viewers. I don't know if you want to try that now, or we can do that near the end of the stream. What do you think, Wolf? Do you want? I'm playing COD while watching. Oh, that's cool. Do you want to see if anyone has any direct questions for me or you, or should we just keep going? Oh, you came. Wolf, you still there?
yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Okay. um,
So, do you have any questions like specific to video games that you want to ask me?
are you talking to me or to the chat?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. I mean, Shaq
Mm.
could say something maybe.
Yeah, that's fine. They can ask while we're doing this. I had a question, but what? Are there any games that you're looking forward to playing? Maybe that aren't out yet, or that they're going to be releasing soon on any platform. I mean, PC or
Um,
consoles, or do you
uh,
have any consoles?
no, I don't own a console, which is sad.
No, no, it's all good, man.
So I don't get to play. I don't have the chance to play any console games. Neither throughout my entire life, I did not own a console. The only time I
Hmm.
played console games was when my neighbor had a PS2.
Ooh.
So yeah, pretty old. I would go there and we played a racing game. It's kind of like Mario Kart, but it's a little different.
Hmm.
I don't remember what it was, but exactly, but it's a Mario Kart type of game, and that's the only thing we played.
On the PS2. Hmm.
Yeah, on the PS2.
Trying to think. Was it like Crash Bandicoot Racing or something?
I No, I'm pretty sure it's not Crash Bandicoot. I
Hmm.
don't remember exactly what it was. It had Pac-Man in it. I'll just put it there.
Hmm. Okay. Well, in that case, then any upcoming PC games that you find interesting or like want to try out maybe in the future?
Well, I know Riot Games is making like two more games. One is a fighting game and one is a RPG. I am kind of excited for that.
Hmm.
I know it's not this year, but it's probably like next year. Other than that, I don't think I have any games that I'm like waiting to play because I currently have a like crappy laptop that can't run mini games.
Mm-hmm.
So like most of the newer games that are coming out are probably like I can't even run it.
Mm.
So like for example, like Doom Eternal, I'm pretty
Oh
stoked
man.
about it. Like it's
Yeah.
exciting, but I know I can't run it, so like I don't have that sort of feeling in me because I know I can't run it in the first place.
That makes sense, I guess. So like, it's kind of a tease then. Like you
Yeah,
don't want to get too excited about a game if you know you can't play it.
but there's one game that I was patient enough and I was exciting to play it
Mm-hmm.
because I know at some point in the future I was gonna get a better laptop to run it.
What is it, man?
It was
If you
it
keep me
was
in
4 years.
suspense.
Yeah, I know it was 4 years ago when I don't know exactly when it came out, but when I learned about Bioshock, oh boy,
Mm. Oh, that's right. You did. You keep bringing that up. I have never
yes,
played that game.
Bioshock is one of my favorite games that I ever played. When it came out,
Wow.
I was like, I gotta play this game. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not gonna watch any playthrough of it so that I don't get spoiled by it. So I
Mm.
waited 4 years until I get my current laptop,
Mm-hmm.
and then I actually played it, and it was
Wow.
probably the best feeling ever.
That's awesome, man. I
Worth
gotta play
worth
it.
the 4 years. It was totally worth the 4 years to play Bioshock again.
That's awesome, man. And it's like a trilogy, isn't it? Like there's three or four of them.
Yeah, there's like two, and then there's Infinite.
Mm. I gotta check that out, man. I know you talked about it before, and you said it was a really good game. You you know what game I'm really looking forward to? Like I'm kind of a cheap gamer. I normally don't buy a game on day one unless like it's something that I've been waiting and watching for a long time.
Mhm.
Like like Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC. I
Oh,
was waiting for that since it came out on consoles. But I'm like, no, stay your ground. You know, because my PC it's better than my current consoles, so I know it's gonna look better on my PC. So I waited a year, and then I finally got Red Dead Redemption 2, and it was worth it, man. I can relate to that feeling, like you just
Yeah.
wait for so long, and then um, but one game I'm looking forward to is Cyberpunk 2077.
Ooh, yeah. Cyberpunk looks
Oh
pretty
my
nice.
gosh, dude! Just ever
Too
since I
bad I
played
can't
it,
run it.
I'm sorry, dude. I don't. I hope my computer can handle it. Did you mind hearing
Probably
too?
can, dude.
Did you mind hearing too? Said I will eat, so I will be back. Have fun eating, man.
Hope the
And
food is good.
yeah, me too. Yeah, since they showed that hour demo, I don't know if you watched it or not. It was like an hour gameplay. I think it's been like a year now, or maybe a little bit more than that. But that gameplay was so amazing,
I think
and
it's been 2 years.
yeah, it feels like 2 years, and just the possibilities, and I like the company. It's CD Project Red. They're the same people who made Witcher 3, and I really like The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
So I know I'm hyping it up, but I have a feeling it's not going to disappoint. You know, like it's going to be a really good game. I can't wait for it, man.
I I really yeah, I hope that they don't disappoint. Kind of like it was kind of sad when I had like when I got into Fallout games and I knew Skyrim
Oh,
was a good game, but I never had the chance to play it.
mm-hmm.
So like I was when Bethesda was going to release Fallout 76, I was really hyped for it because like I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, I can play Fallout with my friends, dude. That's so much better than playing by
Yeah.
myself on New Vegas, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they disappointed, man.
They got
They
really bad
really
reviews, didn't?
yeah, they released an unfinished game.
Mm-hmm.
So many bugs, so many glitches, had too many problems, you know, and there was no NPCs, so the story was kind of bland and there wasn't really anything to it. I got disappointed with Bethesda to the point where I'm not even like I lost hope for them for the next games, you know, they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
bring out.
I feel the same way. Like Fallout in general, it's buggy. Like you have to give them a little leeway. Like my favorite Fallout is New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas is like my favorite Fallout of all time. And you know what? Fallout 2 is really fun too. But
Hmm.
in Fallout 3 and New Vegas, like it's buggy. But the game is so good, like you kind of forgive them. But from the reviews that I saw and some videos that I watched from Fallout 76, it just looked horrible, man. Um,
Yeah, it was basically unplayable for like some of the players.
is isn't it free now? Did I see it free on Steam, or is it just me?
No, I think it's not free. I'm not
Oh, okay.
exactly sure.
I got to double check on that.
But then again, Fallout
If
New
it,
Vegas was made by Obsidian Entertainment, not exactly by Bethesda.
mm,
So when their new game come out, which is I think Outsiders, I forgot the
hmm
name, and they had like good reviews for that, and it turned out to be a very good game. I haven't watched any of the playthroughs or anything because I actually would want to play it sometime in the future when I get a better
hmm
setup.
Me too,
So
man. The Outsiders, right? That's the game that.
yeah,
Yeah, that looks cool. I want to play that.
yeah, they're made by Obsidian Entertainment, who made Fallout New Vegas.
I wonder why. Okay. Didn't they? Is Obsidian or Bethesda the same company that made Skyrim? Like,
Bethesda made Skyrim, but Obsidian didn't. I, they didn't make the Skyrim.
okay. Like I'm kind of like you. Like I felt like they're a really good company, and then now they're just kind of going downhill a little bit, especially after
Yeah,
Fallout 76.
yeah,
That was really
the
bugged.
Fallout 76.
The Fallout of that's weird. That's good. I like that. I felt like I had something else I was gonna say along the lines. So yeah, we were talking about. Oh yeah, I remember now. We were talking about games that we were looking forward to. Um,
Yep.
so I really want to play Final Fantasy VII Remake. I keep talking about this all the time. Like I've been waiting for that game for so long, and I had a PS4. Did I tell you about my PS4 story already?
No, you haven't told me.
Oh, okay. So I had a PS4 for a long time, but I recently gave it to my nephew so he can play Fortnite with my kids because he
Oh,
had
okay.
a 360 and I'm like, I have a computer. I also have an Xbox as well. Like I felt a little guilty, but deep inside of me, I'm like, I wish I would have waited a little bit longer until I played Final Fantasy 7 and then gave it to him. Isn't that bad? I feel bad for
Have you
saying that
have you
out
played
loud.
have you played anything similar to Final Fantasy VII? I mean, you're playing
Uh,
Digimon right now, so that's already similar right there.
mhm. Um, have you? I played Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, okay.
which is kind of similar. I think Final Fantasy 15 might be on a bigger scale compared to Final Fantasy 7 Remake from the videos that I've seen. But I think for me, it's just more about nostalgia because that was one of the first PC games I ever played. Was Final
Mm.
Fantasy 7. I think that was back in 97, 97 or 98 or something like that. And the graphics blew me away. Have you ever played the original Final Fantasy 7?
I have not touched any of the Final Fantasy games.
Okay, we're ending the podcast right now. Thank you for watching, everybody. You, what on earth, man? Um,
Dude, I'll be honest with you. Like, I didn't grow up playing a lot of video games, which
yeah,
is
that's right.
because
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're
one,
right.
my like, I live in a household where video gaming is shunned and looked down upon because
Can
my
you put your
parents would.
Can you put your dad on this podcast? I gotta have a talk with him. Why don't you let my
uh,
man Wolf play video games, man? I understand. Like he's trying to look out for you. But oh, yeah, I was saying that the original Final Fantasy 7, like it's so like now when you look at it, it's so blocky and the graphics are like it's rough, you know.
mhm.
But at the time, it blew my mind, dude. It was amazing. Like just watching the 3D models, because I played. I know you said you didn't play any of the Final Fantasy games, but I really enjoyed like Final Fantasy 3, and that was more like of a 2D RPG. Have you ever heard of what's that game by SquareSoft? I'm trying to think of the name. Having a brain fart. Legend of Mana or Secret of Mana. Have you ever heard of that game?
uh, I have heard of it. I've not played it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was like that's when I really started getting into RPGs. So when Final Fantasy 7 came out, I think that's why it's so special because like it's the first. I feel like I'm repeating myself a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm getting old, you guys. I have gray hair, but yeah, that's why I want to play the Final Fantasy 7 remake. It just looks so cool, dude. Like,
Yeah, I understand, man. I kind of get what you mean because like I I know this is coming. Like I'm coming back to this, and it seems like I played only League of Legends and played too much.
no,
But
it's all good.
like I grew up like I played League of Legends for 5 years, and I remember when its graphics were like absolutely garbage, and
Mm.
the map looked horrible and everything. It looks very old and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I can remember like how it changed drastically. And when I first saw that they're changing the map and how nice it looks,
Mm-hmm.
that was like wow, like it looks so cool and everything, you know. Then I
Mm.
realized that, and then I realized to myself that oh, well, I'm getting older.
We all get old, man. It's all good.
Yeah,
League of Legends is fun, man. Like I'm glad that you introduced me to that game. You have a good taste in games, I have to say, Wolf. Like
I
so
would
if
recommend playing Bioshock. Bioshock,
hmm.
the first one, is like really good if you have time.
Only the first one. What about the second and third one?
Oh, well, because I have not played them, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, are you interested in playing them, or you just beat
Second
one and
one,
that's it?
from what I could
Hollis.
see, second is not as good as the first or third.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you know anything about Bioshock, but like you play as the big daddy, like the big robot guy with a drill. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you've seen any of like the
Yes,
Bioshock pictures. Yeah.
with the little
So you
girl, like the little girls
yeah,
beside
yeah.
him. Mm-hmm.
So you play as that in the second one, which is kind of different.
Hmm.
So
That sounds cool. But yeah, I'll check out the first one. You know what was a good
first,
game? Oh, go ahead, man.
yeah, go ahead.
Have you ever played? You know how movie games usually suck, and
Yeah.
this was kind of a thing, especially when I was really little. Like they'd make a game like based off of a movie, and you just knew it was going to be terrible. The first movie game that I really loved is called The Chronicles of Riddick. Have you
Hmm.
played that game?
I've not heard of it.
Do
I
you
have not
know?
heard of it.
Have you ever seen the Riddick movies, The Chronicles of Riddick or Pitch Black?
No, I have not.
Wolf, you have to stop what you're doing. Do you like Vin Diesel? Do you like Vin
Vin
Diesel?
Diesel?
Yeah.
Vin Diesel's okay. The only time, I mean, I liked him in the Fast and Furious, but that's about it.
I recommend the first one that kind of started off the series. It's called Pitch Black. Really good movie. Um, and then they made a video game after that, and I think it came out on the original Xbox. It was really good, man. Like, I highly recommend it if you can find a way to play it. Really good game.
Sure. What is it on? What platform? PC, console?
I gotta see if it's on Steam. It was originally on Xbox. I'm pretty sure they have it on Steam somewhere. I'll have to double check, but if I find it, I'll send it your way and let you know.
Okay,
It's
sure.
a really fun game. You know, I want to kind of segue into this. Um, we were talking about Elon Musk a little bit ago,
Mhm.
and I know he's heavily involved with AI, like specifically advising against um, focusing too much efforts into AI.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts on that? I know we're kind of switching gears here a little bit, but I'm interested in hearing your thoughts about this.
he makes a good point. Whereas like you're creating a machine that has a better understanding that we do,
Hmm.
but other scientists claims that like, oh, you know, it's we are creating the machine, right? So we're creating
Hmm.
AI. It will only get as smart as the creator itself, or like not more, which is also another fair point. But of course, the AI is constantly learning, and
Hmm.
it doesn't really have a limit compared to like us human beings. They don't have a physical body. They don't have things to worry about other than power supply, obviously.
Hmm.
And us human beings, we have constantly so many things in our head,
Hmm.
while an AI can focus on like a specific thing and then work on it much faster than we could.
Hmm.
So that's one way, as in like AI could possibly overtake us, and you know they would probably think like, oh, why are we being controlled by these people when we are smarter than them?
Why is the thought so? And I kind of feel like this too. Like I feel like the AI can just easily take like, basically like a Terminator 2 or Terminator scenario where they can just
Yeah.
easily wipe out humanity. But why do we have that thought? Like, is there a different scenario where we can like be peaceful and coexist? And I'm
Well,
talking maybe this might be way into the future where they can actually think for themselves and learn on their own and become smarter than the person that made them. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you have, I don't know if you know about this, but there's a thing called like law of robotics,
Hmm.
where there's like I think three laws. It's also mentioned in the movie I, Robot,
Oh yeah, I was
where
thinking about that. Yes. Uh huh.
yeah, so like they put down three specific rules that the robot like or any AI has to follow regardless of like they just program those laws, and no matter what they cannot break it.
Hmm.
So one that's like one way they believe that would prevent like an AI like takeover by implementing those laws and making sure that they're like hard programmed that they can't be broken at all.
I
So
feel like they'll be able to hack them though. Like if they're continuously learning and getting smarter, don't you think they'll find a way around it somehow?
based on my knowledge from like
Hmm.
computer science and computers,
Yes.
from right now, computers they're it's what's in their code, it's in a program, they cannot really break it or hack it off.
Hmm.
That's something they can't really do.
They'd have to add a new code outside of whatever's
Yeah.
in there already. I'm not really. I don't know too much about coding, but
In
does
that
that
case,
sound
though,
right though?
it would have to be done externally. So maybe they could, in terms like they like have a robot, come over and then change the way it's programmed and coded. Then maybe yes, in that case.
Hmm. That's it's interesting. It's like it would be cool if we moved into that direction because they can help us out with so many advancements, like in healthcare and basically anything else that we could think of. But at the same time, it is really dangerous because they can overtake the world and destroy everything, destroy
Yeah,
humanity.
like for example, give me like a little example. Like for example, prosthetics.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Prosthetics nowadays are like they're using AI in prosthetics for example, so that they can
Hmm.
actually like understand and read in human like nerve senses to understand like what part of the hand is moving, or like the
Huh.
leg.
I didn't know that. So they have AI now. Oh, or is this something they're working on, or is this something current that they have?
They're working on, and they have actually succeeded in like using AI and to help with prosthetics and actually predict where like which finger is moving, or if all the fingers are moving, for example.
Wow, that's pretty cool, man.
It is pretty, so like that's a good like way to go in terms of like healthcare and
Hmm.
stuff.
You know
So
that
there's
that that kind of reminds me of a game called Deus Ex. Have you ever
hmm
played
Yeah,
that or
I
heard of
know
it?
it. I have heard of the Deus Ex.
I wonder if we're going to move into that direction where people are going to eventually, like, we're going to be like half machine and half human. Like, we're going to
I
have
think it's a
bionic
very
eyes and. Mhm.
yeah. I think we're already there. We're basically, what like the definition of a cyborg is
Mhm.
when humans and machine coincide, right?
Mhm.
If you look at it right now, we're actually already there. We
Hmm.
can't live without the technology we have right now. If you think
Mhm.
about it, the phones, the computers, everything, we have embodied our lives into these machines.
Mhm.
So like imagine like if you don't have your phone and you're in the middle of like the city or like nowhere,
Mhm.
you won't be able to do much. Or
Mhm.
like even you just not having your phone, you lost all your contacts, all the information that you had on your phone, like that. Or if you're like a businessman, you have everything on your phone or your
Mhm.
computer. And once
Right.
they're all gone, you can't really do much.
Or if you're like into social media, for example, and you do everything from your phone.
Yeah. Actually, if you look at it right now, like there's a lot of people that are like social influencers, people popular on TikTok, people popular on, Twitch, and people popular on YouTube. They
Mhm.
make their whole living based on, this online program.
Mhm.
So like their whole lives depend on it.
A random thought kind of popped in my head in regards to AI. They can also use it for like to track people as well, right? Like this is what's his name? The dude who's in Russia now. He was a he worked for the CIA. Edward Snowden. Like
Mhm.
this is he warned us against like government surveillance and stuff. Can't they use AI to like invade our privacy even more? Like that's something else they can do. I don't know how they would implement it, but.
I don't see how would they implement like AI in terms of like surveillance or government hacking.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Mm.
I haven't really seen AI in that like aspect yet per se.
Not yet, but maybe one day. I don't know. Just a thought. Like I don't know how they would mix the two. So you're thinking. So you're on the side of Elon Musk. Like we shouldn't pursue that. We shouldn't research AI.
Well, I am a little bit towards Elon Musk, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in terms of like us going further into the future, I think we should pursue AI,
Hmm.
but like to a certain degree.
Okay.
You know,
Like be
we
safe
should,
about it.
yeah, we should allow AI to learn miraculously and like as much as possible. But I don't think it should like reach to a point where it has conscious and be able to understand the situation it's in and understand that the fact that they are smarter and better than human beings and they do things way better than human beings and they should just eradicate all human beings and take over.
Like if they become self-aware, you mean?
Yeah, basically, better word to put it.
Hmm. Interesting. I thought of another question for you.
Sure.
Do you believe in aliens?
No, I actually do not believe in aliens.
Interesting. Why not? If you don't mind me asking.
Because there's this whole theory called the Fermi paradox. I don't know if you have heard of it.
I haven't.
It talks about if aliens actually existed, then we would have two scenarios. One would be we would want to meet them, because obviously they're most likely like have better technology than us. Let's say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, let's say they have like they're more civilized, they have better technology than us, and they're able to do space travel and come to Earth.
Yeah.
In that scenario, one like let's say they have two civilizations, right?
Mm-hmm.
One is more evolved than the other. The more evolved one will destroy and eradicate the one that's less evolved.
Why is that the first thought though? Like that they would be aggressive. I guess
Because
history.
if you think about it,
Mm-hmm.
let's say you and an ant, right? The ant has his own world and we have our own world.
Mm-hmm.
The ant doesn't do anything to us. You know,
They
they're
bite
just
us.
there. I mean, yeah, but like I'm saying, like they can't do anything against us. We're the superior
Mm-hmm.
species.
Right.
So either the aliens like probably are way more evolved than us, and they probably do not care about us because we're just like an ant in the universe,
Hmm.
or even if they do care, they could easily eradicate us in the blink of an eye.
But we as humans care about like small insects and ants and stuff. Don't you think the aliens would be fascinated with us, like how we are fascinated with smaller
I
insects and
mean,
ants and stuff?
I
Well,
mean, I mean, they could be fascinated at us, but like they'll be used, will be more used like lab rats than actually like human beings. You know,
well, let me
they
ask you
probably
this.
would not treat. They would probably not treat us the same way as they are. You know, they would treat us lower.
Mm. Well, let me ask you this then. I'm sure you saw like photos and videos of UFOs, so you don't believe that any of that can be outside, like all
No,
that's man-made, basically.
I no, I think that they're probably like man-made or conspiracy theories, or some kind of false news. That kind of stuff. I don't think that they're actually there.
You,
Because then again,
mhm,
because if you think about a human's mind,
mhm,
like okay, all the people that believe they saw a UFO or an alien, or they think that they got captured,
mhm,
memory can be altered very easily. You know,
mhm.
you can alter someone's memory and then give them a false, memory that they really believe that actually happened when it was just planted there by the government or by someone else.
Hmm.
It doesn't even have to be the government. An average person can actually, if they know what they're doing, can plant a false memory into someone, and that person would actually believe that happened.
Mind manipulation.
Yeah,
So like people, basically what you're saying, people who say that they were abducted or whoever the case may be, like that could just have been implanted, like a false memory or something.
yeah, they themselves could actually plant a false memory by
Mm.
having, they could imagine things or hallucinate, that kind of stuff.
You, know, I'm, I think I'm on the other side of the fence when it comes to. I mean, like I know you don't believe. I believe because I feel like the universe is so vast. Like it would be hard to believe that we're the only um, sentient beings in the whole galaxy. Like there's so many stars and planets, and it either has to, I have another theory. Either like the UFOs are for extraterrestrial, or I think they're from the future. They're us from the future.
Hmm. I wouldn't go as far as that they're us from the future because in my retrospect, I think
Mhm.
time travel is impossible.
Oh, time travel. Yes.
It's because
Mm.
in our religion, that everything is guaranteed. We believe in Qadir. Our
Mhm.
future has been determined, our past has been determined. So
Mhm.
like it's a line spectrum. Everything, all the events are in the one line, and God knows,
Mhm.
like this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, that this has happened, and that would happen. In that case, so everything is fixed. So
Mhm.
when it's everything is fixed, time travel is impossible because you can't like go back in time and change something to change history itself, basically.
Well, let me put it to you in a different perspective. Um, and I agree with what you said earlier. So basically, the way you described it, we're on like a linear line, right? So
Mm,
like it started, like there's a past, present, and future,
mm,
and that's how it is, right? Like it's just like constant motion, linear. What
mm.
about like if we were to travel back in time, but it'd be a parallel world or like a different timeline?
Then you're technically not going back in time. You're just creating another universe, another timeline that is like different from the original.
Let, let me ask you this. I think I asked.
But then again,
Mhm,
but then again, in like from what I know from like technology and how it is, I
mhm.
think it's impossible because it's something so like different and vague. Like you're traveling into you're not traveling into another dimension. Okay, that's one thing to travel to a different dimension.
Hmm.
It's another thing to travel back in time and
In the
I don't know,
same
possibly
timeline.
yes, and possibly alter some past and something like that.
Aren't there a bunch of paradoxes, like the grandfather? Excuse me, the grandfather paradox. Like if you were to go back in time and kill your father, or your grandfather, then that means that you wouldn't exist, and that means you
Yeah,
wouldn't have
but
been
then
able
but
to go
then
back in time.
yeah, exactly. That's like a paradox on itself.
So like
That's also
therefore that's why you can't go back in time. Is
yeah, like those type of paradoxes are like one reason why time travel is not possible. You know,
mm-hmm.
unless
Well,
say time travel did happen and someone went back and like killed baby Hitler, someone is gonna replace baby Hitler, and the same thing would happen. Like
mm,
the past wouldn't change, the future wouldn't change. It would be in that like same line spectrum. That's what I believe. That's because it's come from religion in that case.
mm-hmm. Let me ask you
So,
this. I asked Esai this question. Like, if you can travel back in time, like, where would you want to go if it was a possibility?
oh, if I could travel back in time, where would I go?
Yeah, any at any point in time.
I'll probably travel back to the Victorian era in
Hmm.
England and be there.
Is that the 1800s or like, or when was that exact? Or the 1600s? What century was that?
I don't remember,
Gotta Google that.
but I remember that like that era was
Hmm.
flourishing with like new ideas and like all that kind of stuff.
So you'd want to go there and just like check it out, or like, what is it about that era that you like so much?
Well, one because of like the the art, the architecture and stuff like that. The clothing as well is
Hmm.
also pretty cool. But that's about it. That's actually one of the main reasons why I would go there.
Hmm, that's
It's for
cool,
the
man.
visual.
How, man, there's so many things I'd love to see, like from a religion standpoint, just to see like different prophets and so, or like
Mhm.
different, like for me that's fascinating. And of course, I want to go back and see dinosaurs. Like I think that would be sweet, but at a safe
Okay,
difference.
I have a question for you, Emet.
Yeah,
Since you believe in the idea that aliens exist because we live in a huge universe, right?
yeah.
What is your I like opinion on us human beings sending messages to space,
Mm,
like trying to communicate with like extraterrestrial?
I think it's a good idea. Like I do believe that, like alhamdulillah, in our religion, I don't think it prevents us from not believing in other life, because we believe that, of course we believe in Adam and Eve, but we don't know what else Allah created, right?
Mhm.
Like just because we don't, like, it's not written in the Quran or in the Hadith, it doesn't mean that something else is possible. It's not like we're the only ones that God created. So because of
Mhm.
that, from that way, that makes me feel comfortable. It's like, okay, then that gives me the ability to believe in life outside of Earth and outside of humans. So does that make sense? Before I continue, so
Yeah.
from that aspect, like, okay, now I can, like, I feel comfortable believing in that. Um, I I think it's a good idea, but then trying to send messages out to space. But if they're so technologically advanced, like, look, we're probably not even using the same technology that they're using. So,
Yes, and even if they were able to read in, and they let's say they come to Earth, they would
mm-hmm.
probably destroy us. If you like, a good example would be like Half-Life Alyx, the new game that came out. As you can
Oh, that
see,
looks
like
cool. I want VR, man. We
the
got to
the
talk
new
about
the
that.
new alien race just takes over Earth in 8 hours because they're just superior. They're like technology superior in every aspect. So
I
you know,
think I look at it differently than you. Like just because they're superior, I don't see them like as, I guess it's wishful thinking. Like I would hope that they're not only technologically advanced, but they'd be like spiritually advanced, and I don't know, spiritually, emotionally, like they would be on another level. Like especially if they've lived a lot, excuse me, a lot longer than we have. So maybe because of that, they would be a lot more peaceful. And then unless like we initiated the attack, like, then I think I see a possibility of them coming peacefully. But that's just me being wishful. Like I'm just trying to think positively.
I mean, but there's also the thing where like sometimes technological advances happens due to war. If
Mm,
you look at in our current Earth scenario, like a lot of things that were like created, like invented, were for the sake of war, and that's like one way to advance in terms of technology,
mm-hmm,
because
I see what you're saying. I see where you're getting at now. Yes, go ahead. Oh.
So basically, I was coming back to the idea that like if they're technologically advanced,
Mm-hmm.
they probably have gone through a lot of battles,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how they got more and more advanced tech, stealing their tech as well. You know,
Conquering other planets.
right? So,
That's a
for
good point.
my thought, like if something is technologically advanced, they probably have gone through a certain amount of times and conquered a lot of planets. So we wouldn't want that to come to our Earth and do the same thing. And I
That
wouldn't
makes
I
sense.
wouldn't think that they're that peaceful either, considering we're most likely lower than they are.
I have a question for you. Do you think the general public would be able to handle it? Like, let's just say that aliens do exist, and we
Mhm.
just found this out. We don't know if they're peaceful or if they're aggressive. Do you think the general population would be able to handle this, or do you think they would freak out and it would cause
I
like
think I
mess?
think I
Mm-hmm.
think they would. I think if let's say the public knew that let's say aliens exist,
Mm-hmm.
and they would probably panic and be yeah they would probably panic and be scared about it.
You think the majority of the people would be?
Yeah,
Hmm. That's why the government hasn't told us about.
government probably has a lot of secrets they don't tell the public for very good reasons. One of them being like people who cause panic. Two being a riot. You wouldn't want that either.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I.
and a
Let,
third would be like other
mm-hmm.
countries knowing certain countries' secrets.
Mm-hmm. I just feel like there's so much evidence for their existence. Like, take recently, I don't know if you saw the video footage of the fighter pilot, who had like he was tracking something, and they're thinking it's a UFO because it moved in such weird patterns. Have you ever seen that video before?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've seen that video.
Like, so would your explanation be that's just something that like maybe the government made, or like it's super duper top secret? Like you don't see that as being like having a possibility of it being extraterrestrial?
No, I don't think that either. Because, like I said, if they did existed and based on the signs and if they were all true,
Mm-hmm.
we wouldn't be here right now.
You just think like Khalas, if there are aliens, then they would wipe us out. We're ants.
Yes, yes,
We're in their way. They're making a galaxy highway, and Earth is in their
yes.
way, and they would just obliterate us.
Exactly. Basically, we're we're in the way, and they're making a galaxy highway.
Isn't that from a book? I think
It is from the book. It's
the
the
Hitchhiker's Guide to
Hitchhiker's Guide to
the.
the Galaxy.
That's where I got that from. Yeah, that's a good book. I don't know about the movie, but the book is pretty good. Um, what else? Yeah, that's interesting that you don't believe in aliens at all. I thought it would have been the opposite. I learned something new about you, Wolf, every day.
Well, I mean, because I believe in the idea that if aliens existed, they would have like
Mm,
stopped us from even advancing technology because they wouldn't like. Let's think about it in this world standpoint,
mm-hmm,
right? If let's say chimpanzees, start evolving, they get bigger brains, and they let's say like in the Planet of the Apes scenario where they're
mm-hmm,
like they're gonna get smarter and better than us, right?
mm-hmm,
We wouldn't let that happen.
mm,
I'm pretty sure the human wouldn't want something to overtake their spot as the like best
mm.
species. You know,
Hmm. You do
sure
raise a
it's
good argument.
interesting,
Yeah. Mm.
but they wouldn't want that to happen.
You do raise a good argument for the
So, like
existence.
in
Oh,
terms
go
of
ahead.
aliens, they wouldn't want human to evolve technology wise,
Mm-hmm,
so they would like prevent that. Hence why I'm going back to like the Fermi paradox, where
mm-hmm,
if they do existed, we would be stuck and we wouldn't be advanced technology. One, because they would be keeping track of us or probably destroy us at that time.
hmm.
So yeah.
That,
And another thing is like
mhm.
if they did exist, then I don't know. It's kind of weird of a paradox because it talks about how like technology wouldn't get as far as we hoped to be.
Can you explain that a little bit? Like, Like, what does the existence of aliens have to do with the advancement of our technology?
Because I think it's because like they believe that they would keep track of us and they would know that
Mm.
we are like, let's say if
I see what.
we figure out space travel, then we can like get into like space, fighting and all this stuff, space war. They probably wouldn't want to go. They probably wouldn't want us to get that far. Let's say.
You know,
That's why I'm very optimistic and I believe in space travel and I feel like we would take over Mars at
hmm
some point.
hmm
I'm really hopeful for that, and I really wish that it's during my lifetime before I die.
would you go?
To Mars? Hell no.
I thought that's where you're getting at. Like, oh man,
No,
yeah, I
no,
would
no.
love.
I don't want to go to Mars, but I want to at least like go to space. Like at least have space travel to the point where we can go to Mars, or we can go to another planet and take over.
Hmm. Oh, whoops. Are you
But you know
still?
how the whole idea of like traveling at light speed.
Hmm.
I feel like that's not really possible because Einstein made a with his E equal mc squared equation, talking about how if something were to travel at the speed of light, it would turn to energy. You know.
Hmm. Hang on 1 second, dude. I lost video feed for some
Oh,
reason. Give me 1 second.
all
Hold
right,
on
man,
to
take
that
your
thought.
time.
Hold on to that thought. I like that. Let me try to turn the camera back on. No. Okay, we have sound, but for some reason I don't have video. Um, Bear with me, you guys, for just 1 second. So the camera works there. Wonder if I can just. Dang, this sucks. You still there, man?
I'm here.
Okay. Okay, it moved over here. I don't know what's going on. My Discord is acting funny. All right, let me turn on video again. Okay, I think. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Okay, so camera's back. Oh no, I have two cameras on. Hang on. I'm confusing the crap out of our viewers. Okay. Um, where did we leave off? What was the last thing you were
Uh,
saying? Sorry.
I talked about how traveling at light speed would be impossible because when Einstein made the equation that saying that if you travel at light speed, if anything were to travel at light speed, they would turn it energy instead.
It would turn into energy.
Yep.
Hmm. Isn't it?
So it would turn into light basically. It turn into photons.
Theoretically, though, isn't it possible? Um, I don't know where I heard this from. Like, if we can actually travel faster than the speed of light. So let's just say, for example, we're in Earth, right? And we can
Mhm.
travel 500 light years somewhere. And if we had a big enough telescope to look back at Earth, then we would be able to kind of like see the past a little bit because we went faster than the light. You
Oh,
know what
we're
I mean?
going
Because it takes
into
like,
we're going into time travel in that
yeah,
aspect.
yeah,
Huh?
I think it's going back to time travel a little bit because it takes like 7 minutes or something for the light to hit the sun to Earth, right? But if we can go faster than that and travel at a further distance, and if we somehow had a huge telescope and could look back, then we could probably see ourselves. I don't know. I mean, I'm hurting my brain, man. This is hurting my brain a little bit.
That's fine. We're talking like very scientific stuff.
Yeah, it is. Um, where were we? Aliens,
We're going back to aliens.
aliens, Mars. Oh yeah, I asked you if you'd want to live on Mars, and you said heck no.
Yeah, no.
Hmm.
But I would want to live in space if they create like a space station that is for living.
You would or wouldn't?
I would. I think that'd be kind of
Hmm.
cool. Like I don't know if you've seen it in the movies. Like there's like a ring of circle, and they have their own artificial gravity, and you
Hmm.
can see like buildings on the ceiling, and like because of the artificial gravity, they're able to walk all around that. I think that'll be kind of cool.
Hmm. Oh, you know what movie that made me think of? Have you ever seen Interstellar?
Yes, I have actually watched Interstellar. It was a pretty good film.
I liked it a lot. Remember the scene when they got close to a planet, and so they had, so their ship was orbiting. I forgot the characters' names, but they went down on the planet, and the time on the planet was different than the time in the ship.
Hmm.
That makes me think of time travel a little bit. Like I don't know if like gravity had something to do with that, or I
It's not gravity. It's time is only relative to us, and it comes. If you look at animals, like right,
mhm.
cats have shorter years than us, right? They grow much quicker than us,
Yeah.
but that's because it's their growth. It's
Mm.
it's a process of growing that makes time a spectrum for us.
Mhm.
So if a planet, let's say, were to slow down growing, and it could one way be affected by gravity. Gravity could affect our growth as well.
Mhm.
So then it technically is like slowing down time, because our growth is being slowed down.
Hmm. Because it's relative.
Yes, it's relative to us in that that's um, something that only we can perceive, and it's only in our time. We can perceive time in other things as well, but that's based on our point of view.
Mhm.
Like let's say, like I give an example, a cat, right? A cat
Mhm.
grows much faster than us,
Right.
so their perspective of time is a lot quicker than us.
Mhm.
It's not that they see things quicker. It's just that because they grow faster, they're how do I say this?
I think I understand what you're saying. Kind of like if a human was able to live like 1,000 years, like their reality would be different than ours because they'd live a lot longer than the average human.
Yeah.
I get that. That makes
One
sense.
idea that I find really cool, and
Hmm.
I don't know if this is okay in terms of religion.
I'm interested. Yeah, let me.
It's because it's kind of a way of cheating death.
Oh, hey, oh, this is
Where
good. Okay, I think I know where you're getting. Go ahead. Yeah.
it's where okay, right now,
Hmm.
uh, we have already found a way to use brain cells and converting into like computer data. Like they have already
Hmm.
invented a USB stick that is made completely out of brain cells that can
What?
hold computer data,
You
which
got
is
to be
kind of
kidding.
fascinating. Yes, and
I,
it wasn't recent. It was like a few years ago.
Let me back up a little bit. Sorry, I had a long day. Did you say a USB stick made out of brain cells?
Yes, organic material that can hold
Wow.
computer data.
We can do
So
that
that's
now. Huh.
so that's when I'm like, we're getting closer to like my idea of it's not my idea, but like
Hmm.
I have thought of it and then I have looked through it and I see, oh, it's an actual made up idea, and then the people have thought about it before me. It's when you can transfer your like memories and everything
Hmm.
into a computer or an AI or like a robot,
Have, have you
and then
seen?
you continue
Mhm.
living your life from there.
Have
So
you
basically, in that terms, you live forever, you know, as
have
long
you?
as there's a vessel to continue from.
Let me ask you, man. Let me ask you.
Sure, go
You
ahead.
touched on something very interesting. Have you seen a TV show called Altered Carbon?
Altered Carbon? No,
You definitely gotta watch it. Do you have Netflix?
I do have Netflix.
Check it out. It's called Altered Carbon, and it's exactly like what you're talking about. So it's basically set in the future, and in the future they have what's called sleeves. So like they'll put what's called a stack in your neck, and that's where your quote unquote consciousness is. So like if your sleeve dies, then they can just upload your conscious into another sleeve. So technically they can live forever that way.
Yeah, but
It's
here's the thing. The one thing with mine is you're not taking your conscious or your soul to a robot. You're just taking memory. So you're gonna die.
mm-hmm.
Like you know yourself, your
Oh,
body's gonna die. You're
I
actually
see what
gonna
you're saying.
die. Like
So
You're
it's like a
not
copy of you.
you're not transferring to a robot. You're copying everything to a robot. So that version of you can live forever, basically.
But it's not the original you. It's just like a
Right.
copy of your memories.
But if we're able to reach that point, we can advance in technology way a lot quicker. Because we would just basically have scientists, doctors, or people that are very like highly educated to continue on, live forever, and
Mhm.
keep their, knowledge and learning going forward, and actually helping society.
This is a very controversial topic. Uh, it's very interesting because subhanallah, in Islam, and the reality is, like, death is going to happen whether you believe in God or whether you don't believe in God. This is like one universal truth that
Right, but I'm not
everybody
preventing
on.
that.
What do you mean?
You need to realize that I'm not preventing it. We're just transferring all their memories, all their knowledge to a robot, and that would continue that person's life from now on.
But
Their
doesn't that.
conscious,
Mhm.
that their human body will die, the actual person will die, but the robot, its copy, would continue on.
Will it be able to function though? Because we don't know anything about like the consciousness or the soul
Well,
or
yeah,
anything like that.
it's
So
just
how
basically
would
it's just a robot, but has the memories of a human being and has the knowledge of a human being.
so then we're going back to AI then. So then basically you're creating like an AI robot with a copy of the person's memories, basically.
Yes, as an AI, because it can actually learn itself and actually keep on going.
Gorilla Vanilla. Are you only chatting tonight or also playing? We're doing a live podcast. Gorilla Vanilla. Are you
But the
coming to
only
dig?
problem, the
Uh-huh.
only problem I could see is
Uh-huh.
like emotions. Emotions are
Uh-huh.
something that AI currently cannot replicate or understand. So when you're like transferring your memories to a carbon copy, emotions won't be there. You know.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know how they're going to do that in the future, but I hopefully if they could like transfer emotions as well, then personality will become a thing as well on the robot.
Hang on 1 second. Um, I know, but will you? I know, but will you only do that or will you play? I think we're just gonna do the podcast. We're probably gonna wrap it up in a little bit. Are you coming to Digimon Masters online? Probably not tonight. Maybe tomorrow morning. I'll probably play that. So Wolf, you're saying that if they can copy the personality, then it'll be complete, kind of, because it will
Yeah,
just be a cold AI robot. It's not gonna
right.
have any
Because
of our
because
emotions.
emotions won't be transferred. And emotions are completely different than when it comes to like memory or your brain.
Thanks, Gorilla,
But
for
knowledge.
stopping by. I appreciate it. Sorry, Wolf. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Did
I was done what I was saying.
you? Oh, okay. It'll be like. Did you ever watch Star Trek, like the Next Generation or anything like that?
Yeah, my dad's a huge Star Trek fan.
Oh, that's cool. So
But
you're probably familiar
here's the
with
thing:
Data.
I'm a Star Wars.
Oh, you're more of a Star Wars fan.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. Ooh, no, Star Wars is cool. Um, did you like the original, the episodes 1 through 3?
I don't. I mean, honestly, the what's it called? I got into Star Wars watching The Empire Strikes Back. When I
Oh, that's
when
cool.
that movie came out, like I watched, I'm like, that's pretty cool. I want to learn about more Star Wars. So I watched the rest. I watched the older movies.
That's cool. I like the older movies; they're good. I like the original ones too. Like, except for little Anakin Skywalker, I didn't really care for him too much
Yeah,
until he grew up a little bit.
when I watched that, a lot of people say like how Clone Wars wasn't good because like in comparison to the cartoon show, Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Though it's actually very interesting, the movie, because it has like mystery into it. But and then again, I since I haven't watched like the TV show, the Clone Wars, so I wouldn't know. But I
Um,
heard like a lot of better things from there.
I want to ask you a random question, and it's going to lead to a conspiracy theory, and then we'll
Sure.
probably end it from there.
Oh boy,
Uh,
is it the Illuminati?
oh no, we can talk about that though. It's something else. So from the original Star Wars movie, what did
Mhm.
do you remember what Darth Vader said to Luke? Like when he said, did he say, Luke, uh, I'm your father, or no, I'm your father?
Pretty sure he said, "Luke, I'm your father."
The reason why I asked this is because it leads. There's a conspiracy. It's called the Mandela effect. I was just thinking about it when you mentioned the old Star Wars movies. Have you heard about this?
What about the Mandela effect? Did he actually say, "No, I'm your father"?
I think it's no, I'm your father, but I remembered it as Luke, I'm your father.
I'm pretty sure I remembered as Luke, I'm your father.
We should pull up the video, see what it is. But like this is it's a. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but it's a very
No, I think
fascinating.
no, I think no, I think because he said, "No, Luke, I am your father."
No, dude, I think it's just like no, I am your father. Because he didn't see. Like, we got to check it out, man. If you guys are watching, can you please confirm what he said? But for me, that conspiracy theory is so fascinating. Like, what if two different realities, merged into one? Like we were living in one reality, and then we merged into another. Like just the idea for me is so fascinating.
Oh, it's actually, "No, I'm your father."
I
The
told you,
actual quote.
but I thought you thought it was Luke. I am your father, right? Luke, I am your father. Like that's how I remember it.
Yeah, the reason why they say Luke was into it because it was more impactful
Hmm.
compared to "No, I'm your father."
I.
It has a more of a punch when he says, like, when you hear
Mm,
like, "Luke, I am your father," rather than "No,
hmm
I'm your father."
hmm I. I know the simple explanation is that like, our memory can be hazy or fuzzy, and we just
Mhm,
remember things one way. But there
mhm.
are some interesting things like that's how the whole uh, conspiracy Mandela effect started. Was that people thought that Nelson Mandela died in prison in like the late '80s or early '90s or something like that, and were
Yeah, but
shocked to find out that he was still alive. Like, and he lived like for a lot longer than that.
yeah,
I don't know. I just thought that was.
yeah. That's the term Mandela effect came from.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about that? Like, do you think that could be a possibility, or it's just complete baloney?
I think it's a possibility
Oh
because
snap!
people because humans memory is very like hazy. Like I said, you can have false memory implanted into your head, and you would think that it's actually true.
Hmm. That, gosh, that would be so interesting, man. Mandela effect. Let me ask you that. Let me wrap this up. I'm getting a little
Okay,
sleepy and I have to wake up super early in the morning. I just wanted to
sure,
thank
man.
you again for your time for doing this. Like this is really cool, and I hope we can do this again
No
in
problem,
the
man. I
future.
like I like talking about interesting topics. So
Let me one final question, I guess, and we can wrap up with this. Is there a conspiracy theory that you do believe in? I'm a big I love conspiracy theories. Like for me, they're so fascinating.
I
Some
can
of
tell,
them.
dude. The fact that you believe in aliens already says it.
Right. But there has to be some. There has to be one thing that's like that. It's like a little conspiracy theory that you believe. Is there anything that like
Any conspiracy theory that I believe.
yeah, like there's a bunch of them like the
Well,
JFK assassination,
I
how
am
it
I am a
happened.
man of I am a man of science and logic.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't believe in conspiracy theories unless it's proven like to be true. Then it wouldn't be a conspiracy theory.
Have you looked into the JFK
But
assassination?
but I'll tell you this:
Yeah.
I have in the past been a hardcore conspiracy theorist.
Really?
I believed in a lot of conspiracy theories. The JFK assassination, the Illuminati. I believed in Bermuda Triangle,
Oh, Bermuda Triangle. That's a good one.
especially Bermuda Triangle was the one that I believed in the most.
Hmm.
And then there was the whole um, alien stuff. Alien wasn't that much because it's so vague and it's not like too concrete.
Mm-hmm.
I even believed in I even thought that like the Loch Ness monster was a thing and stuff like that. That'd be kind of cool.
Nice, Loch Ness and Bigfoot. So
But then, I grew out of it, and I realized that like in terms of logic and reasoning, it's very unlikely for these things to actually be there. And obviously, there's like reasonings to why it can't be there more than it actually existing.
well, let me just pick one thing out of the things that you said, like the Illuminati.
Mhm.
Um, so at one point in time, you believed that they existed, but now you don't
Mhm.
believe that they exist.
No,
You don't believe it's possible for a group of wealthy men to be, or men or women, to be able to control the world, like through politics and entertainment and things like that.
probably not. No, it's like if in that case they would be the government itself.
Mm-hmm.
But then that's all I could think of.
Interesting. Well, on that note, I just wanted to thank you again, Wolf. Thank you so much for doing this, and hopefully we can do another podcast. Maybe just delve into conspiracy theories. Like I like hearing the opposite. I like talking to somebody who has a different viewpoint than I do. Like I believe in aliens, you don't. But what I'm impressed with, like your viewpoint, it makes sense and it's logical. You know what I mean? Like for example, with the aliens, like if they did exist, they'd probably run us over because they wouldn't want us to be stronger than they are. Like they wouldn't
Right.
allow us to get to that point. If they exist, we wouldn't. If they exist, then we wouldn't. I guess they would probably wipe
Yes,
us out.
basically that's the whole Fermi paradox idea. If they existed,
Mm.
we wouldn't.
I like that. So yeah, I liked your answers. They're very logical. But um, yeah, man. Any before we wrap up, any final thoughts about anything?
Oh, for me, I thought you were asking the chat.
The chat too. I think we only got like 2 people watching right now,
Oh.
but it's all good. I had a good time with this, man. Like we should do this again. I'll try to think out my questions a little bit more. Like I'll try to be a little bit more organized, but for the most part, I normally just like wing it and just see where the conversation goes. You know.
There's one
Mm-hmm.
like I could give you an example like why I'm like this type. I believe I like if there's things more towards explaining that is not true than is actually true, then it's more likely that scenario that is not actually true. Hence why conspiracy theories are called conspiracy theories because there's a lot of reasoning to why that's like that conspiracy theory is not true
Mm-hmm.
rather than actual proof like or reasoning towards that it's being actually true.
I gotta
If
wrap
that
my
makes
head.
sense to you.
I have to wrap my head around what you just said. There's more of a reason for it not to be true than
Yes.
for it to be true. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Hmm. We'll have to like maybe next time we talk about this, we'll have to like.
Like there is a theory of like it's this is a theory
Mm-hmm.
because it can't be proven true or otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
One reason why is this is called last Thursdayism. The idea of that everything was created, all your memory in the whole universe was created on last Thursday.
On last. Oh, interesting.
Yes. No, but here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Can it be proven that it's true? No. Can it be proven that it's wrong? No. So what it can't be proven wrong, nor that it can be proven right. So it's a possibility, which makes it a theory, you know?
You know.
Because it can't be proven otherwise. So
You know what that reminds me of? Like, what if our, of course, like from an Islamic perspective, like we don't believe this, but like, what if your brain was in a jar and this is a whole like this is a simulation? Have you heard of the simulation theory?
yeah, I have heard of a simulation where we're in an alien spaceship and we're in this giant simulation. They're just watching us like little ants,
Like
and
this,
we're
like the
in
Sims, like the
yeah,
Sims game.
exactly. Or like in Rick and Morty, where they were in a simulation, for example,
I
by
love Rick
aliens.
and Morty. That's awesome. Yeah, like it kind of made me think of that. Like
It
it.
does it does go idea it does go with the idea against religion,
Mhm.
but it is a thought and possibility regardless of how you think about it.
Yeah, like
Which
we
is
can.
it's because it can't be proven true or false otherwise. It's kind of like the whole last Thursdayism idea,
Mhm.
you know.
Like
So
if
hence
we
why it's a possibility.
like
Yep,
if
go
we
ahead.
didn't Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Like
No,
if
no,
we
go
didn't
ahead.
have Islam, for example, then like it could be a possible. Like if you didn't believe in Islam, right? Or if I didn't believe in it, astaghfirullah, then it
Mhm.
could be a possibility. I like thinking about it, but I know that it's not the reality. If that makes sense. Like I know what you're
Well,
saying.
yeah, of
Like
course,
it's
of course.
like you can't prove it and disprove it, but like
Hmm.
you're right. It is interesting to think about. Like.
Because if we were in a simulation, the whole idea of religion is created by them, you
Mm-hmm,
know. So they could create this false idea of
mm-hmm,
religion in order for us to not think that we're in actual simulation. That's also another thing when it comes to religion.
mm-hmm,
It is a starful. Like I'm not
mm-hmm.
going against my religion or
No,
anything
no,
like
I
that.
understand.
It's it's just a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look at religion, right, it
Excuse me.
was created, not created, it was introduced mainly during in hard times
Mm-hmm,
when people are right. People, especially the poor are having hard times, you know.
mm-hmm,
And when you think about it, religion gives hope people, you know. So if you think about it
mm-hmm,
in that perspective, as in like, oh, religion came out was introduced during when people needed it the most, and like when they, it's a way to gain hope and stuff like that. So it could possibly be that it was just like falsely made in order to give people hope, in order for people to like, have a reason to live is one of the big reasons, you know.
mm. That's interesting. It like.
Like people
Mm-hmm,
fabricate these thoughts of religion and gods and stuff like that, so people have an idea, or heaven, so that people can have something to strive for, you know,
mm-hmm,
so that people have a purpose in life. Because if you look through, even before religion, people were struggling with the idea of like trying to find out their purpose, their main goal in life, you know. That
mm-hmm.
has been the thing that everyone has gone through, and religion just answers that questions for you, you know.
But
So
you know what, Subhanallah, for me that makes me believe in Islam even more because I think I think about that sometimes. Like, can you imagine like okay if we had this one life and then we died and then that was it. Like, there's nothing after that. Like the idea of an afterlife. Like
mhm.
for me, that would be extremely depressing, and also it for me it wouldn't solve the how can I put this? Like the idea of true justice.
Mhm.
For example, like going back to Hitler for example, he killed like a million Jews and a million people or whatever. Right? He killed a lot of people. We could only at that time, like let's say if he didn't commit suicide. There's a conspiracy about that, but I won't get into it.
Oh no, but
Um,
he did kill himself. There's no conspiracy about that.
I know like, there's a conspiracy that says that he didn't and he went to like South America or something like that.
Oh no, I
Uh,
mean, I wouldn't believe that far. I actually think that he just killed himself right there.
let's just say that like if he didn't kill himself and we executed him for his crimes, right? Like
Mhm.
we could only do that once. His one life, it's not justice enough for the millions of lives that are lost.
Right.
So for me, believing in an afterlife and believing in God and heaven and hell, like this is one way of solving it.
Mhm.
It's just I think about that a lot, dude. Very interesting. Good
The
stuff,
reason
man. Yeah, go ahead, dude.
the reason why I am stick to my religion and I believe in it,
Mm-hmm.
one one reason is because I was born into it. So I'm like, this is the thing that I'm born into, and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna stick to it. I'm not gonna think of changing it or like getting rid of it
Mm-hmm.
any chance. Two would be, let's say if I were, let's say if I weren't religious, or like if I didn't believe in religion, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do bad things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Actually, I'm saying this all wrong. Okay,
You're a bad kid.
let's say no, no. Let's say I do a lot of good things in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a good person, you know. I
Right.
follow my rules of religion, you know. But then it turns out that my religion was all hoax and okay, starfula, and and
Mm-hmm.
heaven wasn't real.
Right.
I still die a good person, regardless of
Yes.
it religion being real or not.
Mm-hmm.
So the possibility that it being real and you go to heaven is there, you know.
Mm-hmm. That you brought up a really good point, dude. Like,
So regardless of
Yeah.
it, like regardless of religion, like if regardless of heaven be there or not,
Hmm.
you should strive for a good person in just the case that it actually exists, you know.
Hmm.
And if it doesn't, no problem. You die a good person. That's still good.
That's a really good point. Like another way I look at it is like, I know we're moving into religion a little bit before we wrap up, but like, can you imagine? Like, it's a big gamble to not believe in God. Like, kind of like what you're saying. Like, God forbid. Like, let's just say, God didn't exist, and religion is fake or whatever. Then,
Mhm.
that's you die. Okay. There's nothing after that. Um, but if you didn't believe in a creator, of the universe and heaven and hell and an afterlife and all that, then you're taking a much bigger gamble and a much bigger risk than if the situation was reversed.
Right. So like yeah, basically what I said. So like
Yes.
it's better just to take that chance that it
Mm-hmm.
exists and all stuff. And also my third reason would be like I have looked through nature and everything and how the
Mm-hmm.
universe is because I like learning and stuff like that. And I learned that our world itself, just the world, not even the universe or the galaxies,
Mm-hmm.
is so complicated
Mm-hmm.
and there's such a like system to it and a cycle to it that it's
Subhanallah. Yeah.
impossibly that it cannot just be itself, you know, just create it by itself, you know. Someone
Mm-hmm.
has to create the system. Someone has to, you know, create Earth in such a way that it's so complicated and so nice and so beautiful
Mm-hmm.
and is able to like take care of itself. You know, there's this whole
Mm-hmm.
idea that let's say if human beings were to just, you know, snap out of existence, like we just all die, you know, right now,
Mm-hmm.
nature would slowly take like care of itself, take care of Earth itself, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Earth would return to its like former glory before all the pollution, before
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Subhanallah, you're right.
That's
Oh, go ahead.
like there's a thought where like if everything will return to normal after we leave. You know.
Mm-hmm. There's a scientific term for what you're describing, but I can't think of it right now. But it's just the idea of, you're right. Like what are the odds of the universe just being the way it is, and being life on Earth, and the position of planet Earth in comparison to other planets, and the distance from Earth to the sun. Like, everything is so perfect. Like, what are the chances that this would have happened from randomness? So that, you really brought up a good point. I can't think of the name right now, but like, that's a really good argument for the existence of a creator.
Yep.
Like, there's another thing. Oh man, you got me started, dude. like like the
We're gonna
idea of
keep on
like,
going for like 3 hours.
we could I love, like, everything we talked about, man. I know, we may disagree on things, but like, this is something that we do agree on, and I think for me it's the most important topic.
I mean,
Like,
that's also one reason why aliens wouldn't exist because
mhm.
the chances of a planet flourished with life
Mm-hmm.
is really, really unlikely.
But possible.
I mean, like with the way Earth is positioned,
Mm-hmm.
the having a moon and all that stuff. I like. There's a lot of factors to it that makes why Earth is such a perfect planet. You know.
Mm-hmm. Another good argument is, the idea that, atheists say that something can come from nothing. Like, the idea of the Big Bang, and the idea that someone or something had to have started
Mhm.
the universe. Like, there had to be an infinite being to have, or an infinite something to have started all this. Like, it couldn't have just started all by itself. Like, for me,
Right.
that's a very
If
powerful
you think about it,
argument.
like a fire doesn't start by itself without like something to ignite it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a cause and effect scenario where this happened because then that's why this happened. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it can't just come out of nowhere. You know.
Mm-hmm. For me, that's a powerful argument. Like, for the existence of God. Dude,
Yeah.
we could have done a
So
whole podcast about this. You know, next time we should invite my good friend Nicholas. He's a Christian, and we have like good dialogue like between us. Like we have a good friendship between us,
Well,
and we have.
what's his idea on aliens?
I gotta ask. I don't remember if I asked him about that or not. I'm curious. I'm probably gonna ask him tomorrow, because I know that I've spoken to other Christians who don't believe in. Oh, hang on. But you're comparing things that happens on Earth with things that are not on in Earth. T-Desk, can you please elaborate? I'm interested. Hang on, Wolf. I'm interested in. Are you referring to the Big Bang, or like the start of the universe?
I think he was. Yeah, I think he's talking about the Big Bang. How it's something that's not you can compare it to like Earth, things in Earth.
Like it's not measurable. Maybe is that what you mean? Like it's not seeable. It's not measurable. But you know what? Like we can use our like logic and intellect. Like, I mean, like from my understanding, I'm not trying to sound offensive or rude or anything. Like from my understanding, the way I understand, like we have how am I? Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought and my wording. We came from somewhere. Like there had to be a beginning. Because if there wasn't a beginning, that would mean that there's an infinite past, which would be impossible. Hang on, that you cannot explain the existence of God with the rules that we already know, because those rules affect the earth. God is not in the earth, so the rules does not apply to him.
We don't say the rules apply to him.
Mm-hmm.
We just say that because the rules exist in the first place, that's why his existence is there. Because he's the one who put the rules in.
Titus, do you believe in the like the universe, like there was a beginning to the universe? Time and past and future does not exist with God
Yeah,
in it. Yeah, I agree with that. Like he's outside of our time because he doesn't age. Like he's ever living, immortal.
yeah.
So
Like
I
in our
agree.
religion, we
Mhm.
believe that he's like everywhere and like we believe that he's everywhere and also somewhere at some point. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Well, he knows everything. Like he doesn't have to be physically there to know it.
Yeah, like he's watching every human being is
Hmm.
one way to put it.
Dude, we can do a whole podcast about. We got to dedicate one time. I want to try to invite
It's
my.
getting late though, man.
I know, man. Yeah, next time I got to invite my buddy Nicholas just so we can get his perspective. Because I've studied Christianity a lot, like the theology. Um, looking at the Bible, specifically the New Testament, and comparing it with Islamic theology.
Mm.
Hey, Jax, dude, you're just coming in when we're wrapping up. Thank you for stopping by, man. We were just wrapping up this live podcast. T Desk, I appreciate you. I appreciate your statements, and hopefully, you're like we're not offending anybody. Cool, cool.
Yeah, talking about religion is very controversial.
It is. It is, but at the same time, I like to do it, but in a nice like. There's a nice way. There's a nice, respectful way of doing it. Instead of like, I'll just give you. Okay, خلاص, this is the last thing, and then we can wrap up.
Well, yeah, I
I
mean, so
promise.
far I have talked like I applied logic and reasoning towards like why things exist in religion, etc.
If you offended people, who cares? They need to buy a backbone. Don't be political. That's just in my nature, Jax. I don't believe in religion. I do believe in a superior being. That's a good start, T Desk. I like that. Um.
I'm
Oh.
kind of
Mhm,
I'm like not super religious,
mhm.
but I definitely like believe in it, like a god or someone that's like higher up,
You, you
that
know,
made all this.
what really got me into it. I'll try to wrap up with this. I'm sorry. I'm keeping you up. I got to go to sleep too. But several years ago, a long time ago, one of my friends, he became a born again Christian. I don't know if you're familiar with this term or not, but he was um, really aggressive. Like he called one time, and he was at a point where he was really hyped up. You know, he was a born again Christian, and he was trying to he was trying to witness me. I don't know if you've ever heard that term before. Like he was trying to tell me, kind of like we have dawah in our religion. We do dawah. You still there, Will?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Um, Hang on, I want to read this. I don't got to filter it, and I say what I think, and if I see it, I'll comment on it. Being politically correct is basically lying. Fair enough. But anyways, I'll just wrap up with this. Thank you for your time, both Wolf and the viewers. So he was being really aggressive. Like, you know, have you ever looked at a woman lustfully, and have you done this and have you done that? Like he was just like really being aggressive with it. I
Hmm.
don't like that tactic at all. Um, I normally don't talk about religion unless like somebody asks me about it. Like, you know, during the month of Ramadan, we're fasting, and someone, oh, hey, why are you fasting? You know, then I give them a brief explanation. And if they ask other questions, then you know, I like to talk about it. But just going up to somebody and like, you're going to go to hell and this, I don't like that, that type of aggressiveness, especially when it comes to religion. Like, we're
Well,
taught in our religion. Oh, go ahead, man.
in our holy book itself, like it specifically states that you, for our religion, we don't, you can't force
Mm-hmm.
our religion to other people,
Yeah.
and we can't force it on our, like our own people as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like if one person say doesn't want to do prayer, you can't force them to do prayer. That's just
Mm-hmm.
not right. It literally states that in our holy book that you can't, like,
Mm-hmm.
even our own people do like force like religion onto them. That's just not
Mm-hmm.
the right thing to do, which is
Mm-hmm.
what I like.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
some people would think otherwise, obviously.
No, I'm so happy you said that. You know, that's very important. Um, I was just gonna say real quick that that's what really got me. Like, I was born Muslim, and then like I kind of really like I wasn't too religious, but until that happened, and my Christian friend, he challenged me. He was like, you know, I dare you. Like he had a really aggressive approach. He was like, I dare you to read the Bible and this and that. So I spent a lot of time, like several years. Let me back up. I never stopped believing in God, alhamdulillah. But like I did comparative religion, specifically like with Christianity and Islam. You know, looking at the books, the theology. Uh, I can go on and on, man. I don't want to.
Honestly, it's good to learn about other religions so
Yes,
you can actually learn about your own religion a lot more.
I did, and that's what happened, man. And also for me, I still like learning about Christianity, so I can have decent conversations with Christians. My good friend Nicholas is a Christian, and you know we have dialogues and we're respectful, and that's how it should be. You know, like that.
Hmm.
That's what it's all about. Like, I'm gonna sound like a hippie a little bit, but like coexisting, and like we both have different faiths, and it's okay. You know, like we can still be respectful to one another. It's not like we have to be mean or anything, and you know we can have very respectful dialogue. And that's one thing I really appreciate. Hopefully, if you get to watch this, Nicholas, I appreciate you and I appreciate your friendship. And I look forward to more of our dialogues. You know, I've known him for a little bit.
Shout out to Nicholas.
Shout out to Nicholas. Hopefully, you can watch. You know, you'll watch this. I'll tell him about it so he can watch this. T said, like I said, I do believe in a superior being, but it's hard to believe on the on the something that the Christian religion say, or the religion of Egypt or Arabic. Oh, I think you're talking about Islam. One thing. Oh, God. Okay. Hard to believe in a God that the Christian religion say, or the religion of Egypt or Arabic. I think he's referring to Islam. The thing that boggled my mind was the concept of the Trinity, and I, I I always ask you know Christians about this, and I talked to Nicholas about it as well. For me, like it boggles my mind. I don't know if you've ever looked into that. Huh? But anyways,
I have not heard of it. Yeah.
we'll talk about it another time, man. Digimon Hero 2 said, "I have League of Legends, Mister." Nice, man. That's cool. All right.
Did you want to hear us can join us playing League one
Yeah,
day?
dude. Yeah, let's do it. We got like really off topic from video games, but I like that because we get to talk about whatever we wanted to, and I feel like our conversation is really fascinating, especially the last part of this podcast. Wolf, I just wanted to thank you again for taking time out of your day, out of your evening, to
Yeah, no,
hang out
no
with
problem, man.
me, and the stream. Uh, to the viewers, thank you for watching and thank you for being respectful, especially when we started talking about religion. And I know it's controversial, but thank you so much for being respectful in the chat. Like from the bottom of my heart, like I really appreciate it. I'm a really passionate guy, man. So I just I just wanted to let you guys know that. So all right, man. With that being said, uh, thank you again for watching. Thank you, Wolf. And until next time, peace. Sit down.